Hi, my name is Anthony Salvi, and I am creative technologist, at Algorithmic. I don't know who knows Algorithmic or maybe who tested in the past, but Algorithmic has been developing middleware and software tools for more than 10 years. And we are the makers of the Substance texturing software suite, which is the tool of choice of more than 100 AAA game development projects. So, uh, recent games made with Substance include Activision Call of Duty Black Ops 3. So here you can see some pictures from the game. And Ubisoft Rainbow Six Siege as well. So few more pictures. And the upcoming Uncharted 4 from Naughty Dog. There is more picture. Okay, so the tools are now also being adopted by the VFX industry, which is why we are working on a new feature target for these users. And this is why I'm happy to introduce our new plugin for Houdini with this demo. Right, and switch on Houdini. All right, so this is a sword, and this sword is rendered with Mantra and textured with Substance Designer. I'll let me show you how we did that. So just to compare, where is my mouse? Okay, so this is without the texture and with. So we will see how we can do that and what is the workflow to have this result. So let's jump to Substance Designer now. Or maybe I can just quickly show you something before. So this is the digital asset we did. All right, so he's here. So everything is packed inside this digital asset. And I show you just after the Substance Designer process how we did that. All right. So we are now inside Substance Designer. So Substance Designer is a node-based tool used to create procedural textures. And in Substance Designer, we think in terms of full material instead of separate channels. So you can see here we have all our channels, our outputs. So with this node-based graph, we can actually play and work with all channels in the same time. So this means with just a single node can affect all channels, which allows for more flexible and non-destructive workflow versus the traditional workflow with Photoshop and bitmap like a few years ago. We have our blade here. So this is our geometry for today. And here you can see this is a base node graph. So with Houdini, I mean, it's the same way to work. I quickly show you how it works. So you have in input some bakings. So I don't know if everybody knows, but I can show you quickly. So I will change my. Here we have the curvature. So basically, we have the ability to know where is angles and edges, and here the ambient occlusion. So with these two information, we can drive a lot of things. So I will show you now. For example, for the damages, we have the ability to plug directly some mask generator. You see here on the tool, we have a couple of mask generator, and they are already designed to be quick, fast, and usable with this baking information from the geometry. So you have dust, edge dirt, metal edge wear, paint wear. So it's very easy to use, and like that you can create easily the mask as you need. So in my example, I use two mask generator. So the first one is the metal edgeware, and like in Houdini, you can have multiple graph node inside a graph node. So node inside nodes. So I can show you that quickly. For example, the metal edgeware is basically that. So it's a node graph, but embedded in that in this one. So that means two things. You can create your own, for example. So if you would like to create your own mask generator, it's really easy to do it. Or you can change or put some variation or update in the one still in the library. So it's really easy. You grab one, try it, and if you are happy, good. And if you would like to improve the result, you can edit yourself the graph, and after keep that one for your next project. I have this one too. So as you can see, it's two different result. So that one is really like using the curvature, as you can see here. So for example, if I change the parameter, here I say, okay, I don't want to use the curvature, and here I say, okay, push at the maximum for the curvature weight, and now I see on the edge the mask change. And for the damages, it's the same. So you can here have a damage intensity. So you can see the scratches are really dynamic, and you can choose to put more or less. And if you like more control, instead like with the metal edge, where you can enter inside the node graph, just to open reference. And here you have every single node inside, so the basic node graph. All right. And of course, you can play with all parameters to combine. You can mix everything. So like that, you can create so dynamic mask without static enter. Because, for example, this here curvature and ambient occlusion will be backed on the mesh. So if the geometry change, it's really not a problem, because you just have to update your baking and use the result to drive your mask. So it's pretty simple. It's the same as well for the dirt. So for the dirt. So as you can see here, okay, I have here a dirt generator. So same thing. It was here, and I use the curvature and the ambient occlusion to drive this effect. And as you can see, just for you to remember, as you can see, we use mostly the ambient occlusion to find where the dirt will be, because by default the dirt will be in this part, particularly on the mesh. So it makes more sense to use it. So with the dirt level here, if I turn on at 0, I see really no dirt, and slowly I see the dirt coming from the ambient occlusion. But if I would like to have dirt everywhere, I can do it, of course. So it depends what the feeling you have and what's the look you need. So let's jump to the rust, because here you can see we have dirt, rust, and blood. So now we'll jump on the rust, because you see we can find here the damages, but damages and rust are linked. So here we can see how we can do quickly a rust texture. So as you can see, we don't really use by default a picture. We can start directly by a noise. And like for the generator, we have tons of noises. So here you can see we have a lot of different noises inside our library. And of course, you can create your own noise if you need it. So it's really up to you. And the quick example is how we can create quickly a Rust. So basically, we can start with a noise. So as you can see, it's just a black and white uh, noise up here. And now what I can do is just to pick up somewhere on the internet a picture where I think it's a good reference for Rust, and add a gradient. So I have just to create this node. So now nothing really changed. I have to edit my gradient. And so, okay, I would like to take this color to create my gradient, because I would like to have a lot of difference, a lot of details. So I just click on pick gradient and say, okay, let's try with that. And now we have Rust. So if I'm really not happy, it's okay. I just need to clear all, pick gradient, and test again. So, all right, we have Rust. And plus, the beauty of the noise is basically you can create tons of variation, because I have just these disorder parameters, and like that, as you can see, we can create a lot of different changes. Just the time, yeah, to calculate. So like that, I can really have a procedural Rust, and I can use it in tons and tons of different assets without to keep exactly the same look, the same result. Can just remove it. And as you can see, of course, we have the ability to control the color, hue, saturation, and lightness. And just to finish this quick tour, I would like to show you how we can use the position, because it's really nice to have it and to use it. Because, for example, with the blood, I would like to put the blood, but from the top to the bottom of my blade. Or, for example, if it was for a vehicle, a truck, and you would like to put dirt or sand, basically it's more with at the same height like the wheel, and it's really not on the top of the truck. So you can really easily use the position. So we have the ability to use position in 3 axes, so that's why by default it's on color, but we can choose only 1 axis. And after use that to drive our blood. So I will show you the result. So for example, this is my mask. And with the blood position, I can just slowly put my blood on the blade. So it's really easy. Of course, everything can be really managed by animation or what you want. It's just a parameter. So it's really easy to play with. So that's why now the final result. Let's turn back on the good shader. Will be that. So now we have Rust, procedural Rust. We have blood, procedural as well. And we use bakers to do what we need. All right, so let's see the overview. And for you, a concept very interesting. Like for the Houdini digital asset, we have the same concept with our Substance. So basically, this is a graph node. You are inside the editor. But if you would like to use this texture outside, and you would like to use it, for example, in Houdini, you can, because with the plugin, basically the plugin is the Houdini engine. So like the Substance engine, sorry. So like the Houdini engine, for example, inside 3ds Max or other package, with the plugin, the Substance plugin, you have the Substance engine as well. And with the Substance engine, you have the ability to load this graph and use the result. But the thing is, you have to publish your graph and to embed the result inside the SBSIR file, so it's like archive format. And this format can be easily exchanged, because you lose the ability to open inside, to go inside, to open the graph and do changes. It's really embedded and closed. But the good thing is you can, as in a digital asset, put some parameters on top, and these parameters after are the parameters available for the artist, the user, at the end. So we can try to do something. For example, if we would like to change the color of the blood, for example, after in Houdini, it's pretty simple. If I would like to change, for example, the saturation, because right now I don't know which kind of saturation I need, I just have to expose my parameter, put a name. So let's say 100 and say, where is it, saturation? All right. So now this parameter comes here, and I have the ability to use it after inside Houdini if I want. So maybe I can just save it and do a publish. So this is the process. Now, as you can see, I have some SBSR as well, because it's the substance for the blade and the sword in general. I just have to say record and replace, and that's it. So yeah, this is a quick introduction of what we can do inside Substance Designer, and now we can switch back to Houdini. So in Houdini, how it works now. Basically, for the Substance plugin, it will be available in few, let's say, days in our website, and it's very simple to install it. You just have to click on the install, and after, inside your My Documents Houdini DSO, you find a folder named Substance. So inside this software, you will have some different configuration files. It's just text files, so really easy to open. And you have the ability to change if you would like to calculate to render the texture with the GPU or CPU, and you have the restriction. So with the GPU it's 2K, CPU it's 2K, and GPU it's 4K. And here you have like a bridge, a link between the mantra shader and the substance. So basically, if you would like to create a new material, all links come from this configuration files. So now we use the principled shader inside Houdini. So the name is substance2principled.cfg. But we can create whatever we want. We can create some different CFG file for the mantra surface, for example, or for an Arnold shader or a Renderman shader. It's just links between properties from your shader and a map from the substance. It's just a bridge. And you have the ability to control some parameters. So it's really simple and easy to use. For example, if you need to turn a parameter on or off, it's really easy. You just have to write the name of your parameter and say 0 or 1. All right. So now in Houdini, let's jump here. We have our digital asset. Inside the digital asset shop network. And in our shop network, we have some shaders. To add a new substance, it's really easy. You click Tab, Custom, and Substance. That's it. After, you have the ability to load SBSIR file. So I go to my SBSIR file. And now, for example, I can open my new one. Up. And this is the result. So you have the name of your substance. You have the ability to reload the substance. So if you do some changes, it's really easy to update your result. You have the ability to export manually if you need it, the all maps, if you don't want to use directly that, or if you just want to use one thing. you have all parameters available here in Substance Designer. So it's really easy. Everything you need is here, and you find exactly the same parameters in the other way. So pretty simple. And now if I would like to use that inside, because this is only the shader, so I need a material now. And for the material, it's pretty simple. I just have to create a new material. Say material here, and choose, oops, let's say that one. And that's it. So all links come from this file. So you don't have to know where I have to use this map, or where I can do things, the roughness, where I need to plug my roughness and stuff like that. Everything is um, uh, driven automatically and linked automatically. So now if I would like to play with my substance, because this is what I would like to do, I just have, for example, to play with the blood position. And as you can see, it's exactly the same result like in Substance Designer. So it's pretty fast, pretty quick, and I can really easily change things and put the good look I need on my substance and on my material as well. So where I am. Okay. The next thing is, of course, in Houdini, we have the ability to put expression and path on all parameters. And this is really important because it's a big trick inside Houdini, because with just one value, you can drive a lot of nodes, a lot of parameters, and you can do everything you want with expression. So you keep the same thing here. So for example, if I go back to my asset parameters, just here, and I would like now to play with my blood level. It's pretty simple. Just take my blood level. I can put this here. Let's say apply. So now the blood level is here. So just accept. And ta-da. So it's pretty easy, and now the blood level can be directly driven on top of the digital asset. I can do the same with another parameter. Let's say, for example, our wear level. Let's say apply. Yeah, and accept. All right. So let's turn off the blood for now. And yeah, come on. Yep. So as you can see here, I can be really subtle with the edge wear and do very thin things. Or I can put the rust and the damage to the maximum. So really easy. One last thing I would like to show you about that is, for example, in my grip, I built this part from the grip, and as you can see here on the color, we have some dirt on top and bottom of the grip. But in my sword generator, I can play with the size of the end of my grip. So what I really would like to do is to keep the same amount of dirt always at the same position. So it's pretty easy to do that. So I can show you quickly. So now if I change the grip piece position, as you can see, now the dirt move as well. So this is why it's because I put a link here with the dirt position. So you can see here, I put this channel, so grip end, multiply by 4, just to keep the good ratio. And now it's okay. I have always my dirt at the good position with my asset. So, and the last thing, because everything is based on bakers, so we need now to update our bakers. So if I put my blood, yeah, as well, and if I change something, for example, I would like to change the width of my blade. As you can see now, the results are not good because UVs are dynamic too. So for now, I lost the link between my bakers and my substance. But no worries. We can as well update the mesh and launch all bakings we need. So it's for the ambient occlusion. Okay, give me 1 sec. Oh, yep. Curvature and position. All right, and now everything is okay. So it's pretty easy, straightforward. The workflow is that you have a digital asset, you can plug the substance on it and use bakers to drive effects on your texture. So thanks for your attention. Low battery, so perfect. Thanks for your attention and to Side Effects to leaving us, to inviting us today. We will be here all week, so come by our booth if you are interested to learn more about Substance. And thanks to everybody.